And of course, it doesn't. Let's see. Dogs in my stream because my dogs are loud. Okay. Classmate is asking me a question and I gotta go. Lucky, come on! Thank you. Let me open up the stream so I could see if there's anybody here, so that way I could be like, hi. There we go. Now I gotta let my friends know that I am doing things. Okay, I'm streaming. Friends. Hello. Hi. We haven't started officially yet because I am letting a bunch of people know that I am here. I am here, I am queer, and I am ready to draw some depressed gay people. Yay! It's exactly what the doctor ordered. There we go. Allow the paste Tumblr. Yes, Tumblr. Please use that. And I gotta go do Twitter, and I gotta do Instagram. I gotta let everybody know. Yeah, no, I literally just started. So you are in the pre-stream, which is we sit here while I am completely distracted by my phone, which is kind of like how 20% of my drawing process is. Not that I would ever admit that except publicly on stream like now. But yeah, there we go. Yay! Yeah, it's been forever since I streamed. I just haven't been in the groove or in the mood for it, and now I am. Yes, it is. It is going to be the next Not Quite Somewhere Else update. This obviously as you could tell from the panel, it is not done. Not done at all. I'm streaming. Alright. There we go. Instagram. Making my links sticker, and there you go. And then I need to plug this bad boy in. Okay. And I need my live chat open. There we go. No, that's not how I want it. Can I do it like this? No, because then it makes it upside down. Okay, well, it's going to have to stick on the stay, please. Thank you. Okay. Well, I'm gonna play some tunes, some royalty-free soundtracks. Let me know if. Oh, why is it not? Why can't I see my screen unless I have to go here? Yeah, YouTube says that it's. You know what? I might have just paused it on my end. Let me see. There we go. Awesome, perfectly. Great. Now I have to draw these guys. Let me know if the music is too loud. It's I'm putting on I'm putting on the vibes. Yeah, I'm at the moment just working on this. I've been busy with schoolwork. I completely forgot to submit an essay I have due tomorrow, but I will do that tonight instead after stream when people can't see my school stuff because right now at the moment I am drowning in schoolwork. So much schoolwork. I love being a college student because all that is schoolwork and no time for art unless it's art classes, which I am unfortunately not taking any of those this semester. But next semester I am, which is great. It's perfect. Now I can get that animation degree that's slowly becoming obsolete thanks to motherfucking AI. I'm crying. I've had way too much coffee, so I'm just kind of all over the place at the moment. I was like cleaning my house. I got home from work and I was cleaning my house for like the last hour, and then I was like, okay, time to stream. Let's do that. So I know I'm gonna crash tonight. When I can manage to fall asleep, which is fine because I need it. Okay, I need to draw John's legs. Sir, you're gonna you gotta draw your feet really badly. Um, this also brings up like what I call, which is just what I call the fact that my thumbnails look like crap on pages. They're just that. This comic does not get sketched out pretty good. So if anybody's just like kind of like, why do some of these panels look really wonky sometimes? That's why. Um, Yeah. Well, actually, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's my one trick that I feel like a lot of people would like be upset with me for is I tend to if there's gonna be like a backpack and John's bag is gonna be here because they're kind of like so at the moment in this part like here let me show you the first panel because only the first panel for this update is done. This update is gonna be 15 pages, so that's the first panel. So now I'm on the rest of the page and this is the first page. Like there's nothing below that, and this is the rest of the sketches of the different pages. Um, so right now at the moment they're just kind of like sitting there, not really like doing anything because they're like, well, the train is moving, well, the car is moving, and we can't really go anywhere because we're stuck in the car. So we might as well just chill out in the little like changing room that they were in like most of the last part and wait for the train to stop and then figure out like what's going on and so yeah they're just chilling, they're just hanging out, and then more stuff will happen later. I think though what was really funny was people was I haven't had people flip out on me on a part, and I don't mean like when I say flip out I don't mean in a negative way because so far like a bunch of the responses I've gotten in this comic have been like I haven't had like an actual like negative response to this comic from anybody, um, which is nice. Uh, but like I haven't had people flip out on me for an update since the update where John got godded in the memory tape, and I had a bunch of people yelling at me, which was really funny because I posted that update while I was on vacation. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think so. I haven't had yeah, I posted that particular update. Though it's the one where it's the one where it's like it like takes place in the safe house in one bit. It goes all the way to post not post unknowing, pre unknowing, where John's just kind of like, hey Martin, when I get back from the unknowing, did you want to go on a date or something? Hint hint nudge nudge. Um and like John talking to Daisy of just being like, Daisy, I fucked up. I don't think Martin likes me anymore. Um, and stuff like that. And a lot of people yelled at me for the cliffhanger that particular one went on. and it was funny. Yeah, it's so very subtle. Like this man is the picture of stability. Um, and I was on vacation because I had specifically like decided like that part's going to be posted while I'm on vacation. Just so I'm not sitting there waiting for the fallout of that part because I knew people were going to be upset, not in a like an actual upset way, but like upset in a like how could you do this to me, my heart, and and then so like I knew it was gonna happen, so I posted that update. I did not expect the like amount of messages I was going to get from people yelling at me, being like, "How could you do this to me? You're ripping out my heart. Please do it again." Um, and I was with a friend, and I was showing him these messages, and he was like, "What did you do?" So I was like, "Did you read the update?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay." So he went while we were on the bus and read the update, and like all of a sudden he grabs me on the shoulder, and he's like, "How could you do this?" And then my friends were like joking, like, "Yeah, get them for this." And I was like sitting there, I was like, "He's fine. Just it's just some trauma. He's used to it." Uh, as if that's gonna be the last time I traumatize Jonathan Sims. Exactly. You crush your friends with feelings, which is like what is my hope with in Harmony. I want to get everybody super attached to my characters and then rip people's hearts out because I'm very excited for that story. I'm like, oh god, okay, hold on a second. I need a because you're on here. I'm gonna because I have this set up so you can only see I have this set up so you can only see clip paint just because I don't want to accidentally because I have to at some point depending on how far I go today I have to pull up some of my notes for the next part in this current part and not quite somewhere else. Um, but I need to. So one of the big things that I've been working on the side when I can't draw is the script for chapter 2 of In Harmony because chapter 1 is completely sketched out. I just need to actually finish the pages. But I've also been working on a story Bible for In Harmony, which I've never done before for a personal project, but I decided to do it for this one. And it's not anywhere near done. However, however, the current number of pages that this thing is on is 58 pages, and it's nowhere near done. Um, I have a bunch of stuff already written down in that Google document, and at some point I might print it out, but I'm probably not going to print it out until I'm like satisfied that it's done enough that I can print it out. Um, but it's currently 58 pages. I also will be right back because I need to unlock the door for my sister because she's going to be home soon. Okay, I'm back. Ooh, my audio is silent. Oh, that's because hold on a second. Ooh, what did I do? Why is this not playing audio? Hold on a second. Oh, I see. There we go. I like these new headphones, but my one issue with these headphones is that I can't, what was it? Sometimes I sit on it, and it has like a plug midway through it because it has like a bunch of different plugs. You can plug it into different stuff. And I tend to sit on it on accident. That's too sick. So it, fucks up. Yeah. But that's what I've been working on the side when I'm not doing schoolwork and when I can't draw. Just because I'm like really excited to get to In Harmony. Very excited for that. I just like actually need to get to a point where I could start posting pages and be happy about that. Which my goal is to finish all of chapter 1 and then post that once I get a good chunk of chapter 2's pages done, and then post chapter 1's all the updates for chapter 1 all at once, and then post chapter 2 pages weekly. The only issue with that is it's going to take a while. In the meantime, though, I could just sit here and I could just traumatize John. Oh, wait. Oops. Traumatize John, animate some stuff, and do other things, like schoolwork. Like a boring person, which is me. I'm that boring person. Of course, but only after I traumatize Martin too. That's just all like that's just my whole thing. It's just like I get this. I see why Johnny enjoys it so much. Killing characters and making them sad is fun. I just get to hurt people. Though this one's not much of a hurting John and Martin arc. At least, I mean, it is kind of, but not as bad as the last one. Because my friend kept going like, "Why do you keep making them sad? Stop making them sad." And I was like, if it makes you feel better, the John memory tape arc is like the saddest one I have planned. I had planned. But like literally a lot of the stuff that happens next can't happen unless they watch his tape first. Because originally I was actually gonna have them watch Martin's tape first. But then I was like thinking about it and I was like, that's not gonna work because they're still gonna be arguing over the same fucking shit that they've been arguing over in like the last like previous updates before this arc starts. So if I'm gonna do this arc, I gotta make it John who watches his memories first, not the other way around. So that's why they watched his memories first. Small bit of not quite somewhere else lore. Behind the scenes lore. This fucking fan comic. God. And there we go. Yeah, I mean, I could probably had still make it work, but it was like I was just like thinking about it because a lot of the because there's like a couple rules that I have for myself when it comes to writing this comic. One because like I even though I sometimes tend to go a little OOC for some parts, I try not to if it's something that does that would be, hold on a second, I need to turn this down, I can't hear myself over it. Um, I try not to do it for stuff that, like, I feel like would betray, like, anything with the characters. Like, I don't want to write, like, a Martin that's so out of character that he doesn't even feel like Martin Blackwood anymore. He feels like an OC. Um, that kind of thing. And it's the same way with John. And there's a couple of rules that I've implemented for myself that I keep in mind when I'm writing this story. And one of the biggest ones is, like, even though I'm personally biased, I cannot make the, like, whole, like, if I start leaning too much into one character is right and the other one's like, oh yeah, no, you were right when it comes to, like, what they should have done at the end of the Magnus Archives, then I'm doing something wrong. I still wanted to keep it where Martin still thinks that sending the fears away is the best option, and John still thinks, well, no, like, stopping the fears from, like, existing permanently is the best option. And I still want that to be, like, something that exists. And it's still like a bit of it's a bit of conflict that exists, but I also didn't want them to, like, be constantly arguing about it all the time. Um, which is, like, why not every single little bit of, like, development that John and Martin get on the train gets shown in this comic. Because a lot of it's just kind of like either the same shit that they've already been talking about, or, like, it's just stuff that yeah, exactly. They would have just argued until it got tedious. Because, like, at some point in the story, because I got, like, what was it? Like, I think it was part 10 when I put them in. But part 10 when hold on, I'm gonna double check really quick. Let me pull up not quite somewhere else really quick. Where's my tapas? There we go. What part was it? It was part 10, yeah. Part 10 and part 11 is like, if I just kept focusing on it and I made the whole story, they argue about what happened during Mag 200 all the time, and there's no kind of, like, resolution to that. It would make an incredibly boring story, because all it would be is just them arguing about the same fucking thing that they go through that they've already gone through over and over and over and over again. And it's like, we get it. We get it. We know their opinions about it. We know, like, how they feel that way. And it's just like, we don't need to keep hearing them argue about it. So, I had to have that discussion happen the way it did. And I'm not gonna, like, that's the one thing I do want to make a point of, is they're not going to not talk about Mag 200 anymore. But it's not gonna be like, at this point, though, like, my plans for whenever it is brought up, it's not I can't believe you betrayed me, and I had to do it, and oh, I didn't agree that you did it. That's horrible. Why would you do that? I don't understand why you did it. It's at this point now, it's just more so just like, this is a thing that had happened, and people got hurt because of it. But there's just a kind of, like, mutual understanding of just, like, we're never going to agree about, like, what had happened and how they should have handled it. But at least they could kind of there's, like, a mutual understanding, more so on Martin's part, because I'm pretty sure, like, John, even in canon, understood why Martin wanted to send off the Fierce. I think the more issue with sending off the Fears of the whole, like, not understanding why, John would do that is, then, sorry, I saw your comment. I'm gonna address that comment. I just want to finish my my thing. Is if now I forgot what my thing was because I saw your comment. I completely forgot. Um, um, Oh yeah, okay. So in canon, I had the idea, at least like re-listening to the Magnus archives, because I do make an effort, because especially because I'm writing this, to re-listen to the Magnus archives. At least like once a year, which I do plan on doing another re-listen before the Magnus Protocol comes out. But I make an effort to re-listen to the show, and like my understanding with how I interpreted like responses and stuff in Mag 200 is that John fully understands why everybody in the group wants to send off the Fierce. The issue is that none of them understand why the fuck is it playing Twinkle, whatever the fuck. I'm skipping this one. um, it's not skipping it. Okay, there we go. Um, I don't think the issue is that none of them understand where John is coming from, and all of them are just like, no, because killing everybody on the planet is a horrible idea. And I personally think John is right. Um, but like, I also understand why they did it, and I think John understands why they did it. Oh, I forgot to add John's back. Whoops. Um, pretend that it's been here the whole time. Like, oops, like that. But it's like the misunderstanding comes in because none of the others kind of fully understand like everything that he's been through, and like what the Fierce did to him, and and I think that's where the issues with that would lie in, with like how Martin feels about what John did when I was writing this, because it's like, yeah, Martin wouldn't understand completely like what he, like the stuff that he's gone through, and just like, especially with like the amount of manipulation, and then basically finding out that your whole life has been a lie, whether or not that's true or not. um like that's gotta be devastating. And it's I because I was like with 198, I was kind of like, why doesn't John like kind of talk about like the fact that Annabelle just basically told him that his life was all set up, um his life was like set up for specifically this reason. And then bringing it up again in Mag 199. Because I listened to the finale when it happened, when it came out live, so I was updated with everything by then. But yeah, so that's where I was kind of going with like everything going on between these two, because it's just, that's just how it feels with me. But I also feel like Martin still wouldn't agree with John, and I didn't want to make it just seem like, oh, well, just because I think John was right means that Martin has to think John was right, which is not the case. It was crazy. It was crazy. Just the God. I miss when TMA was still updating. Like, I have some friends who missed it, and they're excited for the Magnus Protocol because now they can keep updated with it. Um, I just hope that people won't do what they did when season 5 was coming out and like spoil everything on TikTok. But I also don't browse TikTok that much anymore. Like, rarely browse TikTok anymore, specifically because it's been making my mental health worse. So, I don't think I'm gonna have that issue. I don't think that needs a shadow like that, but this does. Spooky horror music. The Visor came out today, and I listened to all of it, and it was really good. God, Harlan Guthrie really can write some good horror. Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean, I still I don't hate making TikToks, but I just don't browse it anymore because all it is people being like, "Oh, everything is bad and it sucks," and I'm like, I know everything is bad, it sucks, but if I want to look at like people saying everything bad and it all sucks, I go on Twitter and not TikTok, where I have to go see people making an aesthetic after about how everything bad in life sucks at the moment. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't know if you've ever seen it on your dash, but I fucking hate core. I think it is the stupidest, most exploitive dumbass shit. Like, I guess if you're like making it as like a form of venting, but why are you using other people's fucking vents into like just I hate it. What came out? Um yeah, it was like something that TikTok kept recommending me for like the longest time. Um it's called Core, and it's basically like aesthetic videos of taking up people's like vent videos about how they can't afford rent, or about how they're getting laid off, or how they like put in hundreds of applications in to get applications for a job, and this and that. And it's just like just basically like more or less about how life sucks at the moment, and making these aesthetic videos off of it. And I don't know if it's like a form of venting that people are doing, but I think it's like one of the most toxic forms of that I've ever seen. And it's called Core, and it's so fucking stupid. Like, I don't want, like, that's like one of the reasons why I don't use TikTok for venting. Um, is because I do not need some 16-year-old deciding, oh my god, you talking about your depression is such an aesthetic. It is really rude. And like I don't get it at all, and it's just ugh. So I don't go on TikTok anymore because it just makes me feel more depressed. But on lighter notes, I did go see the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. That was really good. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. It's like, it's not what I was expecting. I was kind of like expecting, like, because I was expecting like an isekai kind of thing, but it actually doesn't go that route, which I'm honestly glad it didn't. Um, like I was like expecting it to be a lot like the Monster Hunter movie, because I actually did go see that, not in theaters. I just saw it at home, but I expected it to be a lot like that. It wasn't like that, and it was very much kind of like it felt like a bunch of people playing a D&D game together, despite the fact that they're like not playing a D&D game. They're just in the Dungeons and Dragons like Wizards of the Coast setting. And it was fun. I didn't really make the super round, but that's okay. Yeah, I recommend it. It's pretty good. It's like if you want like a serious Dungeons and Dragons movie, it's not this isn't it. But if you want like a fun movie, like maybe you won't go out of the theaters being like this is the best movie I ever saw, because it certainly isn't for me. But like it's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie, and I recommend it as a good watch. I listened through all of the Visor today. That was really good. I Harlan Guthrie can certainly write horror. Which, considering he's working on the Magnus Protocol, I am like wondering what the fuck that guy's gonna write for the Magnus Protocol. Because holy shit, the Visor gets really fucked up. But I listened to it while I was at work. Yeah, yeah. It was coming out. It came out yesterday, actually. It was. It's the Visor. Hold on a second. Let me turn on my desktop audio. It's called the Visor. Hold on, I'm actually gonna type it in chat right now. But it is it's a sci-fi horror. Why is this thing so loud in my ears? There we go. Um, It is a sci-fi horror podcast about this guy named Sun. He's on a ship, and they're transporting a bunch of people from another planet to Earth to repopulate Earth because Earth had it's kind of assumed that Earth got destroyed in like some apocalyptic event, and they're like, okay, we're ready to bring Earth back. But funny shit happens, and by funny I mean scary stuff that will completely ruin your life. And it gets really good. It gets really good. Yeah, I've been really busy with school. I've actually been re-listening to a lot of podcasts, but I had finished catching up with a arc, and Old Gods because that's the one I'm currently re-listening to. Because I had re-listened, I had let's see, I had re-listened to Jar of Book because they announced season two, like the continuation of season two. So I re-listened to Jar of Book. And then I decided to listen to Among the Stacks because it's been on my to listen to list for a while. Um, so I listened to that, which I caught up to that in a day because there's not that many episodes and they're not that really long. And Divisor's not that long either. Like the longest episode I think is like 34 minutes. Yes, yes, God. Yeah, they do, but they also have an interview with the Silverses and with Malevolent, so I'm very excited for that. And like I don't mind a mid-season break because like William Wellman, they go and they like work themselves to death. I do not know how they do what they do, but ooh yes, oh my god, the newest episode of Malevolent was really good. I'm excited for the next one, which I don't know because of Divisor coming out how long ago that was, but I mean how long that's gonna take, but I hope it comes out fairly soon because I'm so excited for it. Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, no. I'm not gonna say what happened in the episode. I want you to go listen to that because it oh god, it gets so good. It gets so good. I'm very excited for it. But like the last episode came out at the beginning of April, so I'm just like sitting here and I'm like any day now, which it probably won't be for a bit because Divisor just came out, and I know Harlan's like talking about that a lot. Uh oh, ooh, oh God! There is so much stuff you're missing. You haven't even gotten to my favorite character yet. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. You're on the season where they're introduced, but you haven't gotten to the episode where they're at. Oh, yes, I'm very excited for you. Very excited for you because they're in season four right now, and season four is it took a very interesting turn, and they're like only 3 episodes into it, so I'm like super stoked with the direction that this show is going. I feel that. I feel that. I tend to listen to podcasts when I'm doing like chores or if I'm on either on my way to work or school or if I'm at work. Yeah. I I tend to just listen to that while I'm doing busy stuff. Like I used to while I'm drawing. Sometimes I still do, but other times I don't. And the reason for that is because I started watching movies and stuff while I'm drawing. So I'm like currently watching through OKKO, but there's a couple of shows that I started with either my family or some classmates that I never finished that I want to keep watching. So I'm probably gonna do those next. Let me bring this slower. Hopefully your workload will get lighter though, and then you can listen to more shows again. Cause oh gosh, Malevolent gets good. Malevolent gets so good. Hello for the Hollowoods too. The mid season finale is good. My favorite part though, my favorite part this whole season has been Lady Ethel's like parts. Like that's like my favorite part that I get to in each episode. Just because like I I uh I love the direction that her arc has been going. It's the funnest thing, and I'm very obsessed with it. To Malevolent or to Hello from the Hollowoods? Because if it's Hello from the Hollowoods, now would definitely be the best time to try catching up with it as much as you can, only because they're on their mid season hiatus. Yeah, yeah. Always gotta find what's best for you. I've been listening to podcasts at work because my job is a lot of like physical work, and like there's some parts of my job where I can't really listen to stuff because I don't think I should be. Um, so I turn my music off for that. But like most other times, I do only because it's just like I'm in the quiet and nobody's bothering me, and it's not like I work retail, so I don't have to worry about like customers. Yes. Oh, in season three, I just want to ask what season because I think there's a because I think there's two parts where she does that. One's in season two and one's in season three. Gotcha. Yeah, I work with dogs. I do doggy stuff. Okay. So you already know that she gets fired. Okay. Yeah, no, I think Lady Ethel Mallory became the funniest character the moment she got fired. Like that's what made her appealing in my eyes. It's not even like a redeeming way. I still think she's a piece of shit, but I think she just made her getting fired just made her 10 times funnier. Yeah. That's basically like I mean I work with dogs, but I do like cleaning at my dog job, and that's essentially what I do is I'll sit and I'll sweep and I'll mop and I'll just listen to my shows. She is so whitey, but like she's just so fun. It's so fun because like I hate the whole marketing thing, which makes me completely understand why William Wellman wrote Hello from the Hollowoods. Because I'm like you're right. I hate advertising. I hate marketing. I hate all of it. I hate it so much. Um, but like now that she's not like doing the marketing stuff, she's just really funny. She's so funny. Like yes, keep crying. I want her to go back to the Hollowoods. I want her to go back to the Hollowoods and go looking for Solomon Reed, being like, my buddy is here, and then just being completely, utterly disappointed. Yeah, if she gets that far. I just like really, I'm really invested to see like what happens to her. Like I don't know what she's doing. Is this the fucking Halloween thing? It sounds like it. My computer tends to go berserk if I go off of clip paint because it's currently streaming only for clip paint. It is on the other side of the country, but I think she's pretty far out. I forgot what city she was in last, but she's not like I mean she's not like in fucking Kansas, but she's not like in Sacramento, so I don't know. This is one of those panels where not doing a nice sketch is gonna bite me in the ass. Yeah, no, that's where she starts. But then she goes on her no good, very bad road trip, which is like what she currently is. So she goes out a bit before the mid season finale. I'm not gonna say how far out, but because one I actually kind of don't know. I remember I remember where she was in one of the last episodes, but I don't remember where she currently is at. Um, but like she's not like in Sacramento anymore. That's what I mean. Yeah. Oh god, yeah, no, because the mid season finale was good. The mid season finale was good. I'm hoping yeah, the latest episode leaves on a pretty good cliffhanger. It leads on a pretty good cliffhanger. You're gonna be very emotionally conflicted. I think is the best like non spoilerly way to say what happens in the mid season finale. Um, but very emotionally conflicted by the episode. Because William Wellman, bless their heart, is a very, very good. Let me rip out your heart and stomp on it in your face, like the creature I am, kind of writer, and I very much appreciate that of them. As somebody else who likes emotionally manipulating my audience via hurting their feelings. Just like I think of like any like podcaster who has like a pretty like a podcast that I like of any podcaster. I think they're like the one that I would love to talk about podcasts with because like I was listening to their season 2 Q&A for the Silt Verses, which I don't think is going to be the same one that they're going to put on their feed for Hello from the Hollowitz. Um, but which because it would make sense because it's a Patreon episode that they are making public, and also like if it was just a re-upload of the Silt Versus one, then that would make sense because the Silt Versus already made theirs public. Uh, but they did a Silt Versus season 2 Q&A, and I very much I listened to it and I was like, yeah, no, if I'm going to talk about like podcasting with a podcast person who I don't regularly talk to, this is like the person that I would want to do it with because I already have talked about podcasting with some podcasters. Like my friend Alex has a podcasting company. I did an interview for another podcast, which I don't know when that's going to be out, but that will be out soon with another podcaster that I mutuals with. Um, which that interview was like back in like December, so I don't know when mine's gonna come out. Because none of the other ones have come out yet. They're in the middle of working on them. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm just hoarding them. Like at this, I'm like I feel like I'm like the one podcasting person who doesn't actually have their own podcast, which is probably going to be like the next step for me eventually. Which is funny because I do have an idea for a podcast. It's just my motivation to actually do anything with it is not there. Mostly because I don't want to do all the stuff that isn't just the writing and coming up with ideas portion. Because like I had an idea for a. Okay, you want to see my podcast horde? Hold on a second. Let me see if OBS will let me change. Okay, great. Um, let me pull up my Spotify. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. I'm a podcast dragon, right? Right? Hold on. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Okay, I'm just gonna pull it up. But I'm waiting to see on my side of the stream just to see if it will show the thing. It's not showing it. Hold on a second. Where? It's not showing it. No, please. Display capture. Yes. Okay. Why is this not? Nope, it's still showing that. That's not what I want. I want to show. Program scene. Okay, no. Okay, so I guess. Why is it not letting me switch to it? Okay, well, I was trying to switch to Hi, yes. I was trying to switch the show. Okay, so I guess I can't show it. But let me just take my word for it. Just take my word for it. Let me just tell you how many rows. I'm gonna tell you there's rows, and then two of the rows have 4 podcasts on them, but the rest of them have 6 each row, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay? So what's 28 times 6? Let's do the math, shall we? Okay? I'm pulling up. I'm 28 times 6. 28 times 6 is 168, okay? And 2 rows of those 30 rows are 4. So we're going to add another 8 to that. I have bookmarked 176 podcasts that I either have listened to, are currently listening to, or have not listened to yet. 176 podcasts. Okay. 176 podcasts on my Spotify bookmarked. And actually, if you want to include Kaleidotrope, because Kaleidotrope is not on Spotify, it's only on YouTube, that's 177. 177 podcasts that I have either bookmarked, have listened to, or am in the process of listening to, right? Now, let me go on my Discord, which you can't see my Discord on this screen. But I have a personal Discord server that I use to keep notes, reminders, like anything whenever I need a note on something, right? And one of the things that I have notes on is podcasting schedules for the shows that are either currently updating or are not updating, as well as the dates that they're updating, right? Let's see, how many shows of 177 shows, how many of those shows are ones I have listened to? Let's do the math, shall we? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, right? 32, right? 177 minus 32, that's 145 podcasts. Actually, wait, no, sorry, 33, so 144 podcasts, because I keep forgetting about Kaleidotrope, that I have listened to. It's 33 podcasts. And that includes everything that I've already listened to and everything that I'm in the middle of listening to. This thing is completely organized by when they update and if they have finished or not. So yeah, that's my thing. So I have more podcasts hoarded to listen to than I have had listened to. And it's only a matter of time before I catch up eventually. People just need to stop coming out with shows. Now I can go back to giving Martin art stuff. It is a chonker of a list, that's for sure. It affects his shoulders. I need a drink of water. I am, yeah. And it's funny because I listened to The Visor today, and I listened to all of that in one sitting. Because I literally woke up, I got ready for work, and I got in the car, and I was like, okay, let's put The Visor on. And I spent the whole day on my way to work and at work listening to that. And then I listened to a couple more episodes of Old Gods of Appalachia because I'm re-listening to that. And now I'm at season 3 of Old Gods now, which I started season 1 last week. So I'm at season 3 again of Old Gods. And after I finish re-listening to Old Gods, my plan is to either start, I'm probably going to go with Red Valley, but it was between either Red Valley or Tiny Terrors, and listen to that. Old Gods is not finished. Old Gods is still updating. My original plan was I was originally going to re-listen to the Silt Verses, but I had listened to the Silt Verses for the first time back in last summer, and I haven't listened to the first 2 seasons of Old Gods since summer of 2021. I only listened to season 3, so I was like, you know what? If now's a good time for an Old Gods refresher, while they're on tour, and season 4 isn't even announced for a release date yet. So I might as well do that, considering that the Silver's only just finished season 2 Q&A recently. So there's going to be, from what I understand with Old Gods, there's only going to be 5 seasons, so this is their second to last season. The Silvers is planning for their last season, so I'm actually delaying re-listening to that one until we get either a little farther away from when the season 2 Q&A came out, or we get an announcement date. Because I'm thinking of making the next show I re-listen to be The Stench of Adventure again. Just because I think that one might come out sooner than the Silvers as well. And since they just finished their crowdfund for seasons 3 and 4, and they've already at least one of the actors for season 3 said that he already recorded all of his lines. Which, speaking of The Stench of Adventure, I need to post that art I did for their fundraiser now. But one of the voice actors for season 3 said that he already voiced his lines for it, so I'm assuming that it's coming out fairly soon. And in that case, I need to go, and I want to go and re-listen to it. So that's probably going to be next on my list. And I can also make a recommendation video for it. But yeah, no, I'm a podcast hoarding dragon. The only thing now I just need to do is just actually write my own podcast, which I had an idea for one. That was going to be it was gonna be not very dystopian-esque. Yeah, it's Martin. It's gonna be kind of dystopian-esque, kind of not, because it takes place in a dystopia, but the dystopia isn't really part of the main storyline. Um, it's kind of complicated, but it's post-apocalyptic. I had an idea for it for a while, but I never did I wasn't gonna do anything with it just yet. And I kind of want to do something with it because I keep revisiting it in my head. My issue with doing that is that I just don't want to do all the marketing and businessy aspects of it. I'd rather just be able to write and possibly maybe voice in it if they want me to, but it's just kind of at the moment it's just kind of rotating around in my head, and I'm maybe I'll just get that creative itch out of my head. I might just go and start writing for it. Who's Lem? Yeah, also the thing is like I would hire somebody to do a bunch of stuff for me, but like I don't have the money for that, and I'm so busy with school and stuff that it's just like I just really can't. So it's just like whatever I could do. Um, no, no, I'm just gonna stand. Oh, fuck. I don't think I'm making his proportions right for this. Probably not. No. Um, Martin, I need you to shrink. Perfect. Lady Ethel, do you want to come edit my podcast for me? And she's like, a job? Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to be in this wasteland forever. Cameo Lady Ethel Mallory. That's like what she's up to. She's actually in my dystopian podcast now. Sorry, sorry, William. But Lady Ethel is in my podcast now. Where I don't know what'll happen to her. I haven't really decided yet, but she is marketing. Market my podcast for me, Lady Ethel. Be my social media manager. I don't want to run it. I don't want to run any of it. Sick and tired of it. How do I draw legs? Legs are hard, but that's fine. Uh, God, imagine if I had made a writing. Imagine if I had made a. Imagine if I had made decided that John does need statements in this. You know how fucking annoying that would have been. I was just thinking of that just now. I was like, because I was my head was zooming around with a bunch of different thoughts for my own comic. My ear is itchy, but my head was like thinking around for a bunch of cuts with comics and this comic, and I was like, man, imagine if John had this like still take statements on the train. Like that would fucking suck. That would suck so much. I am so glad that I was just like John doesn't need statements. He doesn't need it for sustenance. Why does he need statements? Funny enough, that's what this arc is about. This arc is about the fears and the train, and I'm very excited for that because now I could be like, these are the theories that are mulling around in my head. I cannot draw fucking legs today, Martin. Why aren't your legs listening to me? Control your legs, Martin. Control those legs of yours. I'm just gonna quickly sketch him some legs. So that way they can look bad and I can be like, yes, this is a man that can stand. Perfect. Nailed it. If I wasn't working on this, I'd probably be playing RE4. That's what this audio is reminding me of is RE4 because I'm playing the remake. Cause I like Resident Evil. Resident Evil games are good. Lady Dimitrescu's hot. All that works. And let's hope to God that they never touch Resident Evil 5 ever again, because that game sucks, and they don't need to remake it because it sucks. Actually, they need to remake it. They should remake it. My issue is with them remaking RE5 is there's so much racism in that game. I have no idea how they could remake it without it. Like, or at least like without, like, I don't want to say like it needs, not in a it needs the racism way, but they basically would have to make a completely brand new game at that point. Have fun at school, S. Bye. But yeah, no, RE5 is just kind of like a game that's just like, let's pretend that the game just jumps straight to RE6 afterwards, and then like pretend that RE5 never existed and the Boulder joke just like was birthed out of the blue. Yeah, no, it isn't. RE5 isn't that old because RE4 isn't that old either. Um, but like my point is just like that. My point is just like that game is so racist that like, but the game is just so racist that I have no idea how they would remake the game without them just basically making a brand new game. And like I feel like a good decent chunk of it is the fact of the setting that they decide. Like it's just ugh. Like the game I honest worst Resident Evil game, even if the game wasn't racist, it's still just it sucks. Like I could see them doing a Resident Evil 5 remake just because I feel like that they could justify it, even like even if they're like we're remaking Resident Evil 5 but we're remaking it completely. Like I would be fine with that because then they could just make a game that's not racist. But like if they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to remake RE6," I'd be like, "Why? It doesn't need a remake. It's I think that game. I think that's like my line is if they remake RE5, I would be fine. If they said they wanted to remake RE6, I'd be like, why would you want to do that? And then let's get this background done. Yeah, they're on train cars, so the train car is still moving. That's what they're called. In the show and in real life is they're called cars. Because I mean, if I went, the train is still moving. It's like no fucking duh, the train is still moving because the train doesn't stop because the car is moving. Um, because that's just how the thing that's just how the thing works. Because the train is most of the time. No, it's the car. Because if you look at the title of Infinity Train episodes, they don't call it the cart, they call it the car. So like the tape car and the cat's car, even though that one's called La Voiture du Chat. It's also why on Tapas why I named the episodes like that instead of being like part one, part two, part three. I'm like, I'm naming the cars. I'm gonna make this like an Infinity Train episode. John, your Applebee's isn't here yet. John and Martin need to find the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell car. That's where they're. That's what I get to. Okay, this is a joke. This is a joke, but also like I'm very tempted not to make it a joke. Very tempted to make it canon. When they finally get around to having their first actual date, I want it to be at a combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell car. Maybe I'll like make that a gimmick somewhere, but I think that'd be really funny. I'm not actually going. I actually do have a slight spoiler for my own comic. I actually do have a date episode planned in the future after this arc. Um, but I'm very tempted now to just to make a combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell car uh like as like a runoff joke when I need like a fun car. Because that's the fun thing about Infinity Train is I can make anything canon. I am very glad that people noticed that I made the last episode based around the Dreamlance and Malevolent because that episode that part really legitimately was a gigantic Malevolent reference. Just very child esque, which I did because it was around the time I was coming up with this part, and I was coming up with the idea for this part, and like I already knew what I wanted to have happen in the last, not this part, sorry, the last part, but it was for the storyline. And I knew how I wanted the storyline to start out, but I couldn't come up with like a decent cart idea, and I was just like, I don't know what to come up with, and I was listening to Malevolent, and I was like, it'd be really funny if the next episode, it would be really funny if like there was like if the Dreamlance was a car on the train, and I was like, oh, I'll just make a Dreamlance car, um, for John and Martin, and then I was like, oh, I can always submit it into this part, and I did. So that is why there's a gigantic Malevolent reference. Because if I'm gonna make this a Malevolent reference, I gotta go all out on it. So that's why I ended up doing. Yeah, not everybody caught it, but some people caught it. Like I think my favorite bit was let me uh let me pull it up. Pulling up the page. The most obvious bit I think is this bit, with just like with Hatzer. Like that was one of the things that people that was the thing that everybody kept pointing out was just like, oh my god, did you actually name him Hatzer? Um, because you know Haster from the King in Yellow, which because it's funny because if I was imagining if I did have to color this character in the sentient blanket dude, I was gonna make it a yellow blanket. But the other thing I have, which nobody else pointed out, but that's mostly because I only have been drawing him a lot recently, is that I actually do have Arthur Lester taking a nap in the very first panel in this corner right here. Um, so he's just taking a nap in the corner. And then also just the fact that the car that they call the car Dreamland. Uh, that's the other thing. So that's how I decided to like make it like a Malevolent reference. It's not a very like in your face one. If you're somebody who doesn't know, yeah, he has the mustache. I gave him the mustache. Um, but I gave him the mustache. Technically, he should be dead at this point, but like it's not the first time that I've referenced other media in I've referenced other media in this comic. Like, hold on, let me pull up another part from. I don't think it came. I think this might have been a 2021 one. Yeah. Okay. Let me find it. It's It was the Swamp Twins car. It's a very short update, so it doesn't have a lot with it. So after that one, okay, here we go. It was, I think this page. No, wait, was it this page? No, it was the next page. Okay, hold on a second. Where is that page again? Here it is. This page. This was around the time that Delta written meme was really popular. The one where Susie's like, "Chris, where the fuck are we?" So I put Susie and Chris in the background of it. So that was like another time that I put references to other media. And another thing that nobody pointed, there's like some stuff people don't point out in my comics that I hide in there, just to see if people will point out. And one of them, which I've referenced twice, was the fact that I have Grace from season 3 in one of the panels. And I actually have her show up again in another page, which was this one, but she's like mostly covered in a lot of it because it has like a bunch of different stuff with different characters in it, and it's a very busy page. So you can't really see, but she's in the corner down here. She's up here. There's also a bit with Simon right there. And there's some other bits. And like I have that full image. I have that full image still saved. So let me see, because I made a separate background for that one. Which there's some updates that I made completely separate backgrounds for. Let me see if I can find it. It's Micah, and I can't find it. Where'd it go? Maybe it's under M. R. There's my Skint Tom piece. Maybe it's under B? Shouldn't really be. Hard to find. Ah, here it is. Okay. Like, here's the full background. Like, there's Grace and Hazel and Amelia, and there's Grace again, and Kez, and then Cecil, who, was there, and another Cecilia, and Kez again, and then, another Dennison named Clocks, and then Ryan and Mingy and Kez and Simon, and Stacy and Cecil again, and, yeah, it's just a bunch of different, like, ones. There's a bunch of different people who are staying on in the castle car while John and Martin were staying there. Which Cecilia was one of them, and that's like the one thing which I haven't gone back and edited it, and I probably won't because I'm kind of too lazy for that. But I definitely need to re-add her name to that book. No, because kind of part of the thing with that is this part is going to kind of explain like what the deal with the fears on the train are. And it's kind of a situation that it's all theory essentially. It's kind of like more or less what I'm going with, but I'm kind of like it's not set in stone. So in canon, it's just a theory, and in real life of Daryl is writing this, it's just kind of like what I'm going with. But the fears are present. The fears do have some influence on this world. It is nowhere near as much influence on this world as it was at the start of the Magnus archives yet. So it's basically like basically what I had John say at that part where it's like the fears could emerge on the train, just not in the state that they're in right now. Um, kind of stranger-esque, not really. It's not a very direct influence. It's just kind of more so of just um me going, how would the train react to the fears being on the train with the fears being what they are? And what would the train logically do to deal with them? And so I came up with the idea for it when I was planning out like I need like a part to uh this is essentially just the stakes of why John needs to get off the train. And also just kind of that like, ooh, this is why it's called Not Quite Somewhere Else. So that's kind of what I'm going for with this part. Because I only got three more major storylines planned for this, and then the story gets an epilogue and it's done. I still have filler parts planned, but it's most of like when it comes to like major stories lines, there's only three left, and then the whole thing's done. And I don't have any more planned, and I don't plan on making any more because like I feel like once these three are done, like there's not going to be any reason. Like once I get to the last one, especially once I get to the last one, there's not going to be any reason for me to keep writing this story, other than me beating a dead horse. Like it would the story would overstay its welcome, and people would be like, What else do you need to tell now that you've like kind of went through a bunch of stuff?" And so after the next three storylines, it's gonna be done. Um, I'm not changing anything for it. Like even when the Magnus Protocol comes out, because my like current hypothesis of an estimate, this comic is probably going to be done around the time that the Magnus Protocol ends. Uh, I don't plan on adding anything just because it's in the Magnus Protocol. I'm just keeping it strictly to TMA. Which nobody has asked me that. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like once a story has overstayed its welcome, it needs to end. Like with TMA, like especially with like TMA, it's just kind of like if Johnny was like, "Oh, the world ended, and we're gonna continue John and Martin's story of like what they do afterwards and everything like that." I feel like that would have been like too much. I like, which is kind of like why I personally don't want to know what happened to John and Martin in the Magnus Protocol. Like at most, either the main characters from the Magnus Protocol get a hold of their tapes, or we meet a version of John and Martin that this world has produced that isn't the ones from the Magnus archives, and they would have to give me like they would have to like narratively give me an incredibly good reason to include John and Martin from the Magnus Archives versions of John and Martin into the Magnus Protocol, because I personally cannot see it. Also, did my music end? Yes. Yes. Please continue. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm going because this isn't the first time that something I really liked had an unexpected, like, sequel slash side story thing. I think, which was the first one where something like this had happened for me was when Far Cry 5 had a sequel kind of side. It's like not a direct sequel, but kind of like a side, also a sidequel, called Far Cry New Dawn. Um, and my expectations going into that game just because of like the timing of like when that game came out, because it came out like really soon after Far Cry 5 did, um was like I had like a very few couple of like story esque like baseline expectations that I wanted to have answered. And then some story expectations for the game, and it was pretty much just bar on the floor, and the game met them. So that made the game satisfying to me. I know a lot of people didn't really like Far Cry New Dawn, compared to Far Cry 5. Um, but it answered what I wanted it to answer, and it did what I wanted it to do, and that was just like, so like the game was good for me. With the Magnus Protocol, it's more so of, as long as it doesn't do a couple of very specific things that I trust Johnny and Alex enough as writers to not do. I think I'm going to like it. I doubt I'm going to like it as much as I like the Magnus Archives. Like, I'm not going into this looking forward to liking something more than the Magnus Archives or even as much as the Magnus Archives, but I know I'm probably going to go in it and like it just because that's how much respect I have for them as writers. Um, why is my thing doing that? But also like Johnny's just like a good writer. Like I know I don't know how many people like I don't know how many Magnus Archives fans also read his books, which I'm assuming it's a lot considering he keeps writing them. But like I'm a couple chapters into Family Business right now, and it's really good. Like I'm a fan of I'm a fan of 13 Stories. I thought 13 Stories was really good, but like I'm actually liking Family Business a bit more than I liked 13 Stories. So like it's like I think like as a writer, Johnny doesn't really need to rely on the Magnus Archives to write good stories, and also the mechanisms is a thing. But like it's still just because I know some of like when it comes to like being like somebody who makes something that a lot of people like and a lot of people know you for the one specific thing that you've done that everybody likes, like it gets frustrating when you're like, hey, look at this other thing I made, and everybody's like, yeah, but we just want more content of the thing that you made that everybody likes. um which is kind of like it was just kind of like my one fear with this comic is like I don't want to be like everybody is like I am only liking just like when you make this fan comic about John and Martin, and it's like I still work on this because I think it's fun. Like that's when I was talking earlier about like me having like specific rules for that I give myself when working on this comic. Um, Two of those other rules, and you could kind of notice when you go panel by panel, is do as I do as much work on each of the panels in this comic as I feel motivated to do at the moment, and if I feel like I am going to rip my eyes out working on another page of this, I turn it off. I save it and I turn it off because I know I can't go any farther that day. Otherwise, I'm just going to rush it and it's going to look bad and I'm going to hate it. Another rule that I give myself is if people get too annoying, which has not happened. Like I said, I've not had any like bad experiences while working on this comic so far, which has been a miracle to me. Um, but if too many people are like too obnoxious, too obnoxious, which isn't like which it takes a lot for me to get like annoyed with somebody over something, but like I'm trying to like think of like an example. Like with Fallout. Fallout's the best example because one of the things that turned me off from like wanting to do anything else with Fallout and what made it so easy for me to get like really into Far Cry 5 was that my dash constantly was filled with so much hate for any Fallout game and for anyone who liked any Fallout game that wasn't Fallout New Vegas. And my dash still sometimes is filled with just people constantly shit talking any Fallout game that isn't Fallout New Vegas. I'm drawing as fast as I can, please. Perfect, perfect. Soon. But like it was people constantly complaining about Fallout New Vegas, and it was so fucking annoying because all it was people complaining about any Fallout game that wasn't Fallout New Vegas, and it's like my favorite Fallout game is Fallout 4, and I really like Fallout 76, so I'm like public enemy number one when it comes to Fallout fans, and uh, you draw, monkey, draw. Stop talking. Work. Oh boy. my goal at least for today is at least get this one page done, which it's been like an hour. Fallout is good. Fallout is good. It's got like it does some interesting stuff. Here's the reason why people who it's not everybody who likes Fallout. It's like a very specific group of Fallout people. Here's why everybody who likes to like talk so much shit about Fallout 4 and Fallout 76 for having mediocre writing and for not being the most perfect game in existence infuriates the shit out of me. One is because when I first played Fallout New Vegas, which the only other Fallout game I played before New Vegas was Fallout 4, I thought Fallout New Vegas, and I still think this, I think Fallout New Vegas is boring as shit without its DLCs. Because Fallout New Vegas has incredibly good DLCs. And I think that makes a good chunk of the game more interesting to me. Um, that's the first thing. That's my controversial opinion. Also, nobody likes to talk about the fact that Fallout New Vegas is probably, I would have to say, arguably the most racist Fallout game because Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 definitely has like a lot of racism towards indigenous people. Fallout New Vegas has a shit ton of like it has a whole DLC that's like incredibly racist and like very Mormon-esque, which as much as I love Joshua Graham as a character, like that the Honest Hearts is probably just probably is worse in terms of like how racist it is compared to like I don't know if it's accurate. It might not be an accurate comparison. So never mind. Never mind about that. It's a pretty racist DLC. It's racist towards indigenous people. It's racist towards black people. Like the main antagonist is literally a bunch of white people doing blackface. Um, if you want to know how bad it gets, and it's very infantizing towards native characters. Um, it's just really bad. It's really bad. And like that's like the one thing that like infuriates me with New Vegas fans who are just like New Vegas is so good and all the other games like the Bethesda Fallout games because they're specifically talking about the Bethesda Fallout games. It's not about the Fallout 1 and 2 because people do point out the shit in Fallout 1 and 2, but people also don't talk about Fallout 1 and 2 as much. Um is everybody's just like a lot of these people are like Fallout New Vegas is great, but Fallout New Vegas has so much racism in it. Which I'm not saying that Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 76 are perfect games. Otherwise, um, because they do have some issues with it. There's like one character who says the R word, and there's like a transphobic joke in Fallout 3, and that's just like stuff I do remember from it. There's probably other things, but like none of as far as I remember, none of those games get nearly as horribly racist as Fallout New Vegas does. And it's just very annoying. It's just very annoying when everybody's like you're the most like cringe horrible Fallout fan ever if your favorite game isn't Fallout New Vegas, or like when people hijack jokes about posts where people are like, "Man, I really like Fallout 4," and they're like, Don't you mean New Vegas? Um, which I don't mean for the stream to be a complaining about Fallout New Vegas fans stream, but that's my spicy hot take about Fallout New Vegas. And I still love the Fallout games. I think all the Fallout games are good. Each of them are like great in one way and have their flaws in the other. Like I don't play Fallout 4 because of the story. Like I do agree with like a bunch of like Fallout 4 critics that the story for Fallout 4 not only is mediocre, but also just kind of doesn't make sense. Um, and I think that you could very easily just like fix some of it. It could have been the writing room a little bit more. That's what I think. But at the same time, though, that does not make Fallout New Vegas like the epitome of storytelling when one of your whole DLCs relies on the fact that your main antagonists do blackface. And you make it so integral to like another character's storyline. It's like, but it's so unnecessary. You literally did not have to do that, and they did it anyway. uh, that's my as you can tell, I'm still very passionate about Fallout, which is why I'm into the Magnus Archives, which Magnus Archives has its own slew of issues, but oh god, if I keep talking about like racism making me angry, we're gonna be here for a while because racism does make me very angry. On a less let's talk about racism joke. Not joke. Uh, uh. I had the phrase in my head, and then I said joke, and now I completely forgot what the actual phrase was. Topic. There we go. That's the word. With all right. There are certain games that should be forgotten. With all right. I don't know what that means. There are certain games that should be forgotten. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not saying because here's the thing with like New Vegas's racism, which I will admit it's contained in it's most of it's contained in one DLC. I don't remember off the top of my head if there's anything in the main game. It's very contained in one DLC. So you can play through the game and you can play through the whole game. Oh yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Um, it's contained in one DLC, but actually it's actually kind of contained in two DLCs. Wait, no, because I've actually three, because I forgot Old World Blues does have Chinese internment camps where they did experiments on people. I completely forgot about that plotline in Old World Blues until just now. Um, yeah, Fallout New Vegas is it's an interesting game. Yeah, but like that's pretty bad in New Vegas. The Honest Hearts thing you can't really skip because then you would have to also skip I mean, you could skip playing Honest Hearts, but you can't skip the racism in Honest Hearts, even if you don't play Honest Hearts, because if you play Lonesome Road and want to meet Ulysses, like he brings it up and he's like, yeah, these people thought they were honoring me by doing blackface, but really they were just being really racist and appropriating my culture because they decided to put their hair in locks. And it's like, why was this a thing that you decide to put in your game? Yeah, student history. It sucks. It sucks a lot. Ugh. This stream is going on for an hour and a half. That's good. I got so much, what is it? Panel done. I don't know what kind of stream I'm gonna do next. Maybe I'll do another comic art stream, or maybe I'll do an animation stream because I have my malevolent video. Which hold on, let me pull up. Let me pull up. Good thing is 9:30 p.m. over there. Oh boy. Let me pull up one of the parts. The last one I was working on, which is completely done. Um, you're not home? Where are you at? you gotta go home and do stuff. This is the malevolent animation I'm currently working on. This is like a part of it. Which I posted like this bit right here on Tumblr. Oh geez. But yeah, no, this is the animation, and I might actually make my next stream me working on that. Oh god. Please don't get in trouble at work. Please don't get in trouble at work because you're talking to me more than working. Oh, gotcha. You gotta get your project done. Ooh, nice. Holidays are good. What kind of holiday is it? Wait, what party? I'm American, so I don't know about any Swedish holidays. Or at least I'm an American who doesn't know anything about Swedish holidays. I think that would be a bit more accurate because there's probably some Americans who would know like what you're talking about. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, this audio has some voice acting in it. Oh, oh, that sounds like fun. God, I wish America just has Cinco de Mayo, which is like Cinco de Mayo and St. Patrick's Day, which are not really. I mean, I guess maybe St. Patrick's Day. Like, I don't think America really has its own like the only thing they got is like Independence Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. But like no party or no holiday where it's just like the goal is to drink a lot of alcohol. It's my kind of party. Unfortunately, I can't drink anymore, but you know, someday, someday in the future, maybe. I very much would like to go drinking again. Which is fine. It's fine. Okie dokie. Did I make his head too big? I might have made his head too big. I need to shrink him down a little bit. John, I need you to shrink. Do me a favor and shrink. You thought John was short. Now he's shorter. Oh, that's cool. There was one guy who did come across my TikTok occasionally who was really funny. He would go to protests, but he would go to protests on the side of like if he was like an abortion protest where they're like protesting abortion. He would go on the side of like the protesters who were protesting against abortion, but he obviously everything he did was satirical. Um, but he was like he would go in and he would just like troll them and he would be like, "Oh, but I'm one of you guys. I hate women too." Um, and uh he would just like do that, and there was like one where he was at, I think it was like an anti-trans rally or an anti-LGBT rally or something, and there was like a side with like protesters who were there because they were anti-LGBT and he was on that side, and there was like a counter protest happening. And so he was there with his microphone and he was like talking to the people, and the people on the side he was on were like, "You need to get out of here." And he's like, "Why ain't not? I'm one of you people. I'm here for this reason." And they were like, "No, you need to be on the other side because you're not here siding with us." And he's like, "I am." And he called out to the other side where the anti-protest was happening. And he was like, "Hey, can I join you guys?" And the people over there were like, "We don't want you." And he was like, "See, I'm on your side. They don't want me." But he just does these like he just goes in there and he just trolls the fuck out of people in protests. It's fucking hysterical. God. Get some more water. Ah, jeez. Okay. Back to this. Back to annoyed Martin. I need to actually make him proportional to John's size, though. This audio is giving me the visor vibes. Maybe just anything vaguely sound scary sci-fi sounding at this point because of that fucking podcast is giving me the visor vibes. I'm definitely going to do a podcast recommending video for that soon. I just want to do Jar Reboot first because I already written the stuff for it. I just need to actually record it and the video for it. And also to see if I could like maybe come up with a good art idea for a divisor. Cause that'll probably be my next one after Jarver Book, unless like I get like hit with like doing a different one. But the visor's just really good. And I kind of want to do it while it's still fresh in my head. Just I like good. Like here's the thing: is like I'm not like the biggest sci-fi person. Um, I'm not the biggest sci-fi person. I like adventure stuff, but and I like apocalyptic stuff, and I like horror and stuff like that. But like sci-fi and fantasy aren't usually my biggest jam, or at least like high fantasy. But I do like Adventure Zone esque like fantasy sci-fi. Um, and I like it when they like mix shit like that. But like short horror, sci-fi horror stuff, I love that. Sci-fi horror is so good. And I think the visor did that really good. Gotta add his beard. I gotta shrink Martin's head a little bit. It's still too big. Yeah, please be able to get home. Have a safe trip. Thanks for stopping by and talking. It was fun. I'm probably gonna be here for a bit longer, but at least to get this page done. So yeah, thank you. Let's talk to you later. Uh, gotta get Martin's gotta step over this bench. Oh, that's good. That's good. Bye. Okay. Oops. Whew. Okay, let's see. This part is currently 15 pages long, but I actually might increase it to 16 just because I know there's a page up that kind of don't like how it goes. So I'm probably going to redo that. Hold on a second. Let me shrink them down a little bit more. That's like the one thing that's the one thing that annoys me about my own sketches for this comic is that because I'm like you're going to get really you're going to get really bored with this comic really quick if you have to make this particular one update like really nice and fancy, so make your sketches quick and just don't care if it gets too complicated. Is that my sketches are bad. Or my thumbs are bad. My sketches for not in Harmony are pretty good. In Harmony though, like I haven't finished. I finished like a couple pages, but not like of any of the like the one with story stuff happening in it. They're kind of like covers and things like that. This is on this side, so this will go through, and he'll be standing here. I'm actually gonna change that to be like that. Because he's trying to step around the... So they won't be able to see that. He's trying to step around it so he can sit down on the same facing the same way that John's, instead of backwards. Why are you not cooperating with me, Martin? Martin, today you have not been cooperating with me, and that makes me very upset. Sometimes it's John, sometimes it's Martin. Unlike that one fucking comic of Bill what is it, Bill Watterson, I think is his name, from Calvin and Hobbes, where it's like a photo of him sitting at his desk with like pencil and paper. He's like staring at Calvin, who's like sitting on the floor, and he's like, "Okay, Gid, I need you to do something." And Calvin's like, "Maybe I don't want to do anything today." That's me. That's me with this comic. I'm like, "Okay, John, okay, Martin, I need you to give me something to work with." And they're just like, "Can you please let us rest?" And I'm like, "No. We're gonna beat this dead horse until this dead horse is beaten nice and good. Come on." Get up. Get to it. I may not be British, but I know certainly how to torture British people, and literary ways is the best way, apparently, because it gets people screaming at me while I'm on vacation in Ocean City. Which, if you missed me talking about that, that was the thing when I posted the one update, where John gets got by his own memories, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and then you guys had to wait like 2 months for me to come out with the next part, and the next part was like 30 pages long. Because that ended up, I don't know why I made his hand look so fucked up. Because that part was really long. But yeah, I was on vacation in Ocean City. I had decided to post it while I was on vacation in Ocean City so I could ignore the comments coming from it while I'm on vacation. And a lot of it was people yelling at me. In a fun, like, haha, we're all having fun here kind of way, but still. I had to do that for this part, but not so much. Huh. Oh, wait, oh. I always forget to do this, but I forget to add his hand. Before I forget. There we go. Do the cheatsy way of shadows. Boom. There we go. Okay, save that. And then I'm going to take a quick break because I'm going to did my music stop again? Yes, keep watching. Jesus, why does it keep pausing it? Okay, back to the thick of it. Wait, hold on, I have to actually pull up my stream. Okay, let's go. Probably get through these pages and maybe a little bit into the next page before I decide to hop off for the night. It's only 4 o'clock, so. Yeah. You know, I'll be leaving the stream up anyway. Keep a whole like backlog of them. This is fun. There we go. It's really weird that it was only putting it on top messages when there was like a bunch of other people talking. I wonder if that's my mom. Let me go check that out. Okay, I'm back. Which means back to spooky vibes, back to other stuff. Horror, terror, fear. Really, it's just gonna be two dudes sitting in a car talking for a moment. So, you got that. And we'll be at this for like another hour or so. Just for tonight. And then I will plan another stream day and announce that. I'm gonna try announcing my days ahead of time before instead of like doing impromptu streams. Keyword here is try, but you never know. You never know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't really have too much to talk about at the moment. So I've mostly been working on like same couple things. I had taken a break from that malevolent animation that I posted a whip of um about a month ago. Mostly because of school stuff, and I was moving my priorities to different things, so I had those out of the way, and I got most of it out of the way, so now I could go back to it. So maybe I'll go and do my next stream on that because it was a malevolent animation um that I was originally going to do because Harlan Guthrie had recommended a song, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to the song and see if it gives me malevolent vibes, and it did, and I was like, oh, this is a good song. I had one of those moments where you could like automatically imagine like a music video in your head, like with your OCs, but I had one for like malevolent, and I was like, oh no. Oh no, well now I have to make an animation. And then he fucking saw the whip that I made for it, so now I'm like, oh fuck, now I have to actually finish the thing. um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Um, I do want to get back to it because I actually do really like my idea for it, and I was getting super frustrated with one part because nothing was working out the way I wanted it to work out, and I was changing my storyboard so much, so I was like, I need to take a step back, and I finally have in my head like what I want to do and how I'm gonna go about doing it, and I'm just like, because like the last like part I finished, I animated the wraith from episode 3 of Malevolent, and I hated animating that wraith so much. I did not like it. I did not like my design for her because I had a design in mind, but I knew that if I went with what the design I had in mind, everybody would keep making Harry Potter references, and I don't need that in my comment section. Um, so I didn't go with it, and I went with something different, but I don't like it as much. And maybe if I have the time and the patience, I'll go back and I'll redo it, but I probably won't. I'll probably just sit there and be like, this is my least favorite part of this whole animation is that fucking wraith. And then I'll have a bunch of people who are like, oh no, the wraith is good. I'm gonna be like, no, it's horrible. It doesn't look anything like how I imagine it. It's not scary enough. I can make it scarier. I know I can. Um, so yeah, that's that's the gist of it. I just have to go and make myself do it. So I was getting frustrated, but I was getting frustrated with the one part, the storyboard. I think I'm over it now, so I'm gonna go back to working on it and being like, yay, I love this is why I love animating before I start hating myself for animating again. Because animation, you love it until you actually have to do it. And then you do it and you're like, why did I decide I want to make a career of this? And then you finish it and you're like, oh yeah, that's why. It's just vibes. It's just vibes. Mm. Last panel. Oh yeah. And then that's one of 15, probably 60, gonna be end up being 16 pages done. Which is fine. Which is fine. Because, you know, longer parts are fine. And this one's actually going to be this storyline is actually going to be interesting because this is going to be one of the ones that has a bunch of like longer part updates, especially like the next one after this. Like the next one after this probably most likely will be the longest part in this whole story. Not in like all of Not Quite Somewhere Else, but like in this particular storyline because I don't know if it's going to reach the 29 page threshold, which my longest update has 29 pages, but it probably will get close. And I kind of want to get I kind of want to get really freaky with it. So if it does end up being longer than 29 pages, then that is fine by me. Because it'll still be really cool. It'll still be really good. I think it'll be really good. And like some of these like cooler story beats, I want to do them justice. So like I've been trying to keep most of my updates within the 10-page range, and sometimes I'll like cut them in half just to keep it so. But other times, like with this part, I'm like I can't do this part justice and keep it shorter than and keep it 10 pages or shorter. So I go over the threshold. And a lot of the posting limit has to do with the fact that originally this was only posted on Tumblr. So I was like, it has to stay 10 pages or less, otherwise, like I can't post the whole part on Tumblr, or it's going to be a hassle to post on Tumblr. And then Tumblr implemented 30 image posts, so now I can go up to 30 images per post. But I would prefer to keep it in the 10-page limit because of Instagram's page limits. And now less so, like, I don't care as much for the Instagram one, but at the same time, like, I would prefer to not make these like 50-page updates because then it would take you guys months to like actually like get an update. Um, and the 30-page one took quite a bit. So, no, that's not how. Okay, yeah. No. There we go. Just that. Yeah, this one's gonna be fun. I think this is gonna be an update. Maybe not an emotionally exhausting one, but if I went out with like constant Let's traumatize John for the 50 millionth time. This would also be a very boring story. I only like torturing characters when it is needed. And Harmony's going to be really fun because everybody's going to be going in and being like knowing what to expect, probably not getting what they expected, being like, huh, and then that's when I fucking gut them like a fish. Which is to say, I have my emotional beats mostly planned, at least the beats that I'm excited for, and nobody's going to expect anything. This is a very dramatic one. Talking about the music. But yeah. There we go. Dialogue for last piano. Whoops. Don't want that. There we go. And background. Oh, yeah. It's all coming together, baby. And neither of them have their numbers in it, so I don't need to worry about the green glow or their digits. And there we go. Page 1 of 16 probably is finished. Woo! Confetti! Yay! That's perfect. Okay, on to the next one. Woohoo! Oh, don't tell me this is stopping because. Oh, never mind. This is a very weird playlist. Getting kind of hungry. Gotta go eat soon. Okie dokie. Sorry if I'm not saying much. I really don't know what else to talk about. I mean, unless people want to tell me how their day's been. My day's been alright. It's been alright. Been at work. I wake up super early for work most days. Today I woke up at 3:30. Because I work in the next town over, and my job has me waking up early for it. It's not bad. It's a good job. But you know, I get very tired. So I'm probably gonna be sleeping pretty good tonight. Except I had a shit ton of coffee, so that might affect some stuff. One of my coworkers bought a bunch of coffees, but one of the people didn't want theirs, and so he was like, "You can have it," and I was like, "I will drink it," and so I did, which is fine. There we go. One panel down. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to go. Oh, you know, I just realized I forgot something on this part. Give me a quick second. Let me see if I can salvage it. There we go. I remembered that was there, so I had to edit. And now we're back onto this panel. And then we get to just Martin chilling out. And John. But we haven't drawn John yet. So I know it looks kind of weird. Let's fix that. Okie dokie. Whoops. Oh boy. That's one Martin down and John to go. Hate it, is it? Like, yes, I'm here. Okie dokie. Got quite a bit done in just 3 hours. Okay. 2 panels of that page done. Two panels down and 5 more to go. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I didn't know you were being in the chat. Hi, how are you? I'm drawing a silly panel with John and Martin. It's a little silly one. It's silly, goofy mood. Yeah, pretty much. Just a little silly, goofy mood. Hey, Rachel. Yay, it's a party going on. Woo! Sorry if I seem low energy because I've been going at this for 3 hours now. And I'm starting to get tired, so I might quit soon, but not quite because I'm still like, I still got that momentum going. And John and Martin, having fun times. Martin's like, John, take a nap. John's like, fine. And now I'm at the panel where it's like, never mind. Destination reached. So they don't even have to worry about taking naps because Jonathan Sims taking a nap, unheard of. Having a lie down, getting a good night's sleep, sounds like malarkey. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like propaganda for Jonathan Sims having a good day for once. Jonathan Sims having a good day? Never. Even though he deserves it. I just love the faces. This is officially my newest favorite. Hold on, wait a second. Actually, there you go. Perfect. My newest favorite panel for this comic. Johnny just wrote it in his contract with Rusty Quill. Was just like Jonathan Sims is never allowed to have a break, and Alex was like, "Oh, does Alex took that to mean, oh, so Johnny can't have a break either," and that's why Alex can't let Johnny rest. Yeah, they really go. The train's stopping. John was gonna go take a nap for once, and then the train stopped. You know, for some reason, I thought you were putting boobs in my chat. The boob emoji. Okay, that was weird. OBS disconnected for a second. The music very much fits that. It's like a big da da da. And there's the drop. Alternate, not quite somewhere else, cover page, but it's just this. It's just a nice, fancier version of this. There we go. And then we need this. Wait, hold on. There we go. I like this panel. he's vibing. He's vibing. He's like, oh, I gotta take a nap. And it's like, never mind. I'm gonna be a little silly. Yeah, I'm sorry for not talking more. I'm just tired. I'm actually debating on where I want to stop for today. Because the next time I stream, I'm thinking of working more on that malevolent animation, which would be nice. Um, but I don't know. I'm gonna fix Martin's mouth. I don't like his mouth. His mouth keeps throwing me off. And that was a hot bad line. Yeah. Because I want to get back to working on that the woods animation that I started. I took a break from it because it was making me I was getting frustrated with my storyboard, and I really hated how the race part of the last section of it that I got finished came out. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna take a break from this. So I took a break from it, and now I'm like feeling ready to get back into it. I just need to finish the storyboards for the next part, so I can start animating for the next part. Um, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy with a bunch of different things. I mean, the animation's coming around nice, very nice. I'm very excited to get it done. I got like 40 seconds of it, of like it's a 3 minute animation, but you know, probably be the longest malevolent project I'll ever work on. And it's funny because, and I can't show it on here because of the angle, um, because I tried leaving the Clip Studio Paint section of this only because I was trying to show my podcast list earlier because I went on a whole rant about that, of me being a podcast hoarder, like a dragon. And the number of podcasts that I have bookmarked to listen to is nothing compared to the number of it, like is a lot more than the number of podcasts I actually have listened to. Um, which I have like all the list of the titles of all the shows that I have listened to. Um, and where was I going with this? I tried showing them that, but I couldn't pull it up. So I decided to just like do the math without showing my actual screen. But I would show what I got if I could. Yeah, I think after I get this panel done, this is probably where I'm going to stop the stream for the night. Only because it's going to be dinner time soon, and I'm hungry, and I'm tired, and yeah. But I'm happy with how much I got done in this stream. I'd like to do longer ones. I just need to find a time and day to do it. Imagine like a 12-hour stream where I just work on this. And they're like, wow, you got 10 pages done one day. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, babe. I hope you're having a good day. I'm assuming you got off work. Yeah. You go home and relax a bunch. I've been up since 3:30 and I got like maybe 5 hours of sleep last night. Um, so I'm gonna be conked out tonight. I can assure you that. Unless the like 3 coffees I drink today keep me up longer. Okay. Well, that's about, let's see, we got this page done today. 'Cause the only panel that was done was this one. This one was partially done. So we got this one done today. Um, and now we have this one, which it's looking good. I'm happy with what I got done today. And then we got the next one. That was a little glimpse into that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it there. Thanks for coming to my stream. For everybody that showed up to my stream, I will be doing this again more because I'm trying to. I'll be announcing when I do these. I want to try to streaming more on YouTube. Let me just go ahead and turn this off. There we go. Wait, why are you playing still? Pause that. Um, so yeah, I want to play. I want to do more streaming stuff. What else? Yeah, no, that's just really it. Um, next time I stream, it'll probably be me working on that Malevolent animation. If not, then probably more comic stuff. I might do a stream in the future where I work on In Harmony, so you guys can see that because I got a couple pages done already, and I'm very excited to finally be able to get enough of this comic done so I could start posting it. But yeah, so thanks for coming by, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.